blah, 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 cleaning toilets, blah, 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 solitary confinement.
G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. Today we're going to be talking about the new Bluey episode Show and Tell and 5 things that maybe you didn't know about it, starting off with the religion aspect.
Statue World!
So yes, it is confirmed that there is no religion whatsoever in Bluey, and that was confirmed from the Behind Bluey podcast with Joe Brum's interview with Costa Kassab, the lead art director. So of course, if you were watching the episode, you would have seen when they rolled up to the cemetery, and if you looked in the background, there was no religious icons, there was no crosses, there was no angels, no like actual prayer positions of any type whatsoever, and that was on purpose.
We need a cemetery, but sticking with the ABC's rules, we couldn't show any religious iconography or angels, a bit like Veranda Santa.
So yes, confirmation that we're never going to see any sort of like religion in Bluey whatsoever. But I did think that this was a really interesting thing and would probably explain why other episodes we haven't seen anything like this, like Christmas or Easter, for example.
How am I going to find my surfboard?
You just have to do what Satnav says.
The second interesting thing is about Statue World, its actual self. And again, we learned some information about this from the Behind Bluey podcast about this episode. So we did get confirmation that this was based on Toowong Cemetery and that this whole idea of like the Satnav game as well was from Joe Brum.
There was this game which always used to crush it with the kids, which was me ignoring Satnav when we'd drive. I'd be sort of like, I'm sick of Siri telling me what to do. I'm going left, and it would just kill it in the car.
And you can already tell from like the comparison photos of like the gate of the cemetery and like the hills and everything that this was definitely Toowong Cemetery in Brisbane.
And the other thing I love about this app is Bingo saying Statue World when they get to the Toowong Cemetery.
Statue World!
But something really fun though is that the whole idea of it being called Statue World is based on what Joe Brum's daughter actually calls cemeteries. But she does have a very, very funny line that didn't quite make it into the show.
We drove past it. My daughter said, "Hey, it's Statue World." And she's 10 now. And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "Where everyone's dead."
The third really interesting thing though, I think, is the blah 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 scenes.
You see, blah, 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 skeleton, blah, 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 mitochondria. Make sense?
No.
So again, Joe Brum confirmed this on the Behind Bluey podcast that this was inspired by The Simpsons. I know a lot of people thought that it was maybe inspired by like Charlie Brown and Peanuts, but Joe said that this was specifically about The Simpsons and he remembered like Santa's Little Helper as that like reference point for it.
So there's a couple of bits in it where Bandit and Chili both start monologuing, and when we cut to the POV of the kids, it's just blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to remember where that came from. I'm assuming it was The Simpsons. I think Santa's Little Helper episode being spoken to the humans with The Simpsons.
Go home! Blah, 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 blah!
The fourth really interesting thing, though, I think that you should know about is the location Easter eggs, because there were so many in this. And again, I've already done a previous breakdown of like every single little hidden detail in Easter eggs, so I'll leave a link for it up here for where that is.
Didn't we cover this already?
No.
But the ones I really want to talk about, aside from Toowong Cemetery, of course, is the Hutchinson's building, as well as the Hoppy car wash that we see them driving past. And maybe the most fun one was the actual electrical box in front of the Stafford State School. So they added in this box. It exists in real life in Brisbane. I went there when I was in Brisbane last year, so there's a couple of clips I have for you so you can see what it looks like in real life. But I love that they added this into the show, and also that the long dog was on top of that electrical box as well. The fifth really interesting thing, I think, is of course the cameo, one of the cameos of course, which was Mick Fanning, who is a famous Australian surfer. The design of his dog and him is so alike, all down to the details, including his watch as well. And we did also find that his location is actually in Wynnum, which is a different area of Brisbane, a little bit further out. And I do love the design that they did for this with like the palm trees to kind of make it feel kind of surfy.
Oh yeah, look, it's from a blue coral crab.
Ooh.
Hey, watch this. Yeah.
As I mentioned, a lot of this information came from the Behind Bluey podcast, which is unfortunately no longer available for some reason on Spotify or Apple when I tried to look for it. But it is available on the ABC Australia website. You do need a VPN to actually listen to it. So if you would like to do that and listen to all the other breakdowns that Joe Brum and all the other creators behind Bluey talked about, you can use my VPN here. I'll have a link for it down in the comments section down below. I use NordVPN to watch all of this stuff. It's what I find is the most reliable. I am not sponsored whatsoever. This is just an affiliate link. So if you would like to use that, then you can.
Oh, and it does this.
But what was your favorite thing about the episode Show and Tell? Let me know in that comment section down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button, as well as that subscribe button and that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey videos. Until then though, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!